Hello, and welcome back to another episode of County Perspective, the show that focuses on Frederick County government, local programs and events in the community that you live in. I'm your host, Rosa, and thank you for joining us. It's spring and things are hopping over at Winchester Hall. Let's see what recent news has been happening in the county. During the public information briefing on Thursday, April 19th, County Executive Jan Gardner announced 23 awards through the county's Community Partnership Grant Program for fiscal year 2019. Of the 41 competitive applications received for the grants, 21 Frederick County nonprofits were awarded a total of 23 grants. These grants will help housing, seniors, and community needs, like dental care for seniors and those who cannot afford services, shelter for high-risk victims of domestic violence, and food for children. Applicants were from Hartley House, Inc., Alzheimer's Association, Mission of Mercy, Frederick Community Action Agency, Blessings in a Backpack, and many more. County Executive Gardner said that working together with the community saves the county tax dollars through early intervention and prevention. For a complete listing of awards and more information, visit www.frederickcountymd.gov/community partnership grants. Or contact the Frederick County Division of Citizen Services at 301-600-1454. Frederick County is a good place to do business with a strong industry base, great assets, and opportunities for businesses to grow, according to an analysis by economists from the Jacob France Institute at the University of Baltimore and Techonomy Partners. The analysis was done for the Frederick County Office of Economic Development to create a Frederick County Growth Opportunity Strategy, or GO Strategy. The GO Strategy findings were released on Thursday, April 26th at the Delaplane Visual Arts Education Center. At the event, County Executive Jan Gardner pointed out that communities that led the way with economic growth share one common trait. They developed a vision and a plan to get there. The Office of Economic Development teamed up with the economists to identify Frederick County's key assets, as well as core industry clusters that hold the potential for growth. They found that Frederick County is home to many economic development assets. The county is one of the fastest growing and most diverse economies in Maryland. The workforce is skilled and educated. The business climate is competitive and the quality of life is high. Over the next 10 years, the GO strategy recommends that Frederick County focus on building its workforce, placemaking, targeting core industry clusters, and branding. For a full report of the GO strategy, visit www.discoverfrederickmd.com/data. Hundreds of community members gathered at the 25th Annual Frederick County Volunteer Fire and Rescue Association Award Ceremony that was held on April 16th at the Walkersville Fire Hall. The ceremony started off with opening remarks from representatives of the association, along with County Executive Jan Gardner, Deputy Chief of Fire and Rescue Services Tom Coe, and the new Director of Volunteer Fire and Rescue Services Kevin Fox. Awards given included Encouragement Award, Rookie of the Year Award, Fire Prevention Award, Community Service Award, Golden Service Award, and many more. If you would like to view the awards ceremony in its entirety, check it out on Frederick County's YouTube channel. While you're there, feel free to check out some of the county's other great programming. One of their newest shows, Silver Platter, works with the Department of Aging and focuses on healthy meals geared towards aging adults. Let's take a sneak peek at one of the episodes.
Cooking for one or two can be a real challenge, and the recipes that we're going to be sharing on Silver Platter are sized just right and encourage healthy eating. It's often difficult to plan a meal when you're cooking solo, and it's so much easier to pull a frozen meal out of the freezer or eat a bowl of cereal over the kitchen sink or stop for fast food on your way home. But we know those aren't the healthiest choices. Today we're going to talk about breakfast and how good it is. You know, there is truth to that old adage that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. but it's hard to sometimes get up in time to cook a full meal. The food we're going to be preparing is easy to make. It can be made the night before and make breakfast a quick and easy start for your day. Today we're going to make overnight oatmeal. It sounds really easy, and it is. You need a jar and with a tight fitting lid. I've got this fancy canning jar, but you can use any mason jar. You could use a plastic container with lid. To that, we're going to add 1/2 cup of oatmeal. This is old-fashioned oats, and I encourage you to use the oatmeal that is the least processed, because as we process the oats, the nutrients diminish in that, so we want as much health as we can get. We're going to add an equal amount of milk. I'm using 2%, but you could use skim milk, or if you really want to indulge, you could use whole milk or half and half. This is a really interesting measuring cup I have, and it makes it easier because I don't have to stoop down to read the lines. It's printed on the inside, so I can pour from the top and read the amount that I'm going to measure. We're pouring that into the oatmeal. We're going to give it a little stir, and then we're going to add some sturdy whole fruits. I'm using blueberries today, but it could be strawberries, it could be chopped apples, it could be raisins or other dried fruits like cranberries or cherries, whatever your preference is. We're going to put about 1/2 cup of berries in there. 1/2 cup is a normal size for a fruit serving, and we want to get about 5 servings of fruits and vegetables each day. Stir those in there. And again, it doesn't have to be real thorough. We're going to put the lid on it and set it in the fridge. You could make several of these up at a time. If you're using the small canning jars, they don't take up much space. I've made this one ahead to eat. All I'm going to have to do is pop off the lid, put my spoon in there, and we're ready to go. This is a quick and easy breakfast that you could take with you on the road. You don't necessarily need to sit down or cook it. It's ready to go when you are. Thanks for joining me for breakfast this morning. If you would like more health tips or a copy of this recipe, please go to our website at frederickcountymd.gov/aging.
We're going to take a quick break, but stick around. We have plenty more coming up on County Perspective. Welcome back to County Perspective. I'm your host, Brandon Rosa. In a bit, we'll take a look at the Department of Fire and Rescue Services burn buildings improvements. But first, let's head on over to the animal control as we take a look at this episode's featured pet. Grandma Tala may be a senior, but don't let her name or her age fool you. She's still got plenty of play left in her. This sweet senior has never met a squeaky toy she didn't like. In addition to her playfulness, Tala knows a few tricks. Grandma Tala doesn't always show well in her kennel because it's a scary place for her. Take her outside and let her show you why senior dogs make the best pets. If you'd like to see more animals available for adoption, visit Frederick County Animal Control Center's website. And Frederick County recently reopened what is known as the Burn Building at the Fire and Rescue Training Facility. This 20-year-old structure has been used to train recruits and over time started to need a structural facelift. Just a few weeks ago, Frederick County proudly reopened the building to its recruits with some much-needed upgrades. It's hot, it's smoky, and it's known as the Burn Building.
A lot of times you open the door and you're getting a face full of smoke and you can't see anything at all. And you can be, 3 feet from the fire and still not see it.
The Frederick County Division of Fire and Rescue Services Public Safety Training Facility has been utilizing the burn building for over 20 years. This building allows volunteers and recruits to see what it is like going into a real live fire scenario.
We do our live fire training here. This building you can burn Class A materials, which is wood and paper, because it's more realistic. It gives you the smoke that you would typically see in a building fire. We split the class up into smaller groups, and they work as small crews of 3 to 4 people. During a scenario, one crew could be performing fire extinguishment, another crew could be doing search and rescue for victims, another crew could be doing ventilation, putting ladders up to the building so they could get in, or other firefighters could get out. We always have a standby team, which is called our rapid intervention team. If a firefighter goes down, it's their responsibility to go in, find the firefighter, and bring them out.
But for almost 2 years, the burn building wasn't up to par.
The existing building had a sprayed-in concrete type material as the fireproofing. Over the years, the fireproofing began to deteriorate. It would get moisture in it, and then when we would conduct our live fires, that moisture would expand, and we started to see failures of that fireproofing.
Staff members at the Public Safety Training Facility were aware of the dilapidating burn building, and only one room was available for use. Division of Fire and Rescue Services Chief Tom Owens was ready to make a change.
The existing building has been here for several years, and it had run its course, and it was time to do something. So Chief Owens put a committee together to kind of weigh the options of what we could do.
After the committee was formed, funding from the Capital Improvement Program and efforts from County Executive Jan Gardner made the renovations possible. Renovations started in late August of 2017 and were completed by mid-March of 2018. Now, the burn building is more functional than ever before.
During the committee that Chief Owens put together, they came up with a combination of the two, where to add the addition to the back and to renovate the existing fireproofing in the old building, which meant the installation of the high temperature lining heat refracted tile. So that's in both the new and the old building. So the older building was just roughly about 30 by 30 square feet. It had 3 burn rooms in it. The addition is the part in the back. We've gained an additional 2 burn rooms into that, with the potential of a 3rd. On the back part, the addition is to replicate a garden-style apartment, which we see in the city. So it gives us a little bit more options where we can do different types of drills.
New additions to the 2-story burn building also included grapple hooks and entry points on the building and on the attic. Staff members and recruits from DFRS, as well as volunteers, are pleased with the new burn building, and they all believe that training performed in the burn building prepares them for the road ahead.
So it's really hard to sit in a classroom and say this is what you're going to experience when you go into a fire. You absolutely have to come out here and do the practical evolutions. In a controlled environment with this building, you're going to see the fire do different things.
If you can get into this building, it really puts a lot of things into perspective for sure. They can teach you all you want in class, and that's what's really neat about this place is we try to limit the classroom time and get exactly what you need. Try not to make mistakes, but you know that's why we're here, is to make mistakes, to be honest, and learn here so we can be as good as we can be in the field.
If you would like to find out more information about the burn building, visit Frederick County Division of Fire and Rescue Services website at www.frederickcountymd.gov/DFRS or call 301-600-1536. Frederick County hosts all kinds of events, activities, and programs that are available to the community year-round. Here are just a few that are happening in the next couple of days or so. find out more events and programs, or for more information, log on to the county's webpage, frederickcountymd.gov. And now at the end of our show, we would like to mention a few things our viewers should keep an eye out for in the upcoming weeks. Coming up next month on May 3rd, the Division of Parks and Recreation will be receiving the Frederick City Historic Preservation Award for the Rose Hill Manor Parlor Cornice Work project that was done this past winter. The project was a collaboration with the county and the National Park Services in an effort to preserve and restore the parlor of Rose Hill Manor that was constructed in the mid-1700s. At 5:30 p.m., a reception will be held at Rose Hill Manor, and at 7 o'clock p.m., the Division of Parks and Recreation will receive their award at City Hall. For more information, contact the Division of Parks and Recreation at 301-600-2936. If any of you are interested in becoming a voter registration volunteer, well, you're in luck, because training is now available at the Frederick County Board of Elections. Training sessions are available on Mondays, 10 a.m. to noon, and 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. and on Fridays, 10 a.m. to noon and 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Come to the office during those times, located at 340A Montague Lane, and no appointments are needed. To qualify as a voter registration volunteer, you must be of voting age and be instructed in accordance with the Code of Maryland Regulations Title 33. The last training session will be on Friday, May 25th. For more information, contact the Elections Office at 301-600-VOTE. Offices are open 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, or you can go to www.co.frederick.md.us/elections. That's it for this episode of County Perspective. Don't forget to follow Frederick County on social media in order to keep up to date on important news and events. We'll see you next time for a fresh look from a county perspective.